And now to the news in detail, and many thanks for joining us. This is Star TV News. The National Assembly of the Gambia has referred the Communications Bill 2025 to the Assembly Business Committee for detailed examination following its second reading. During the session, members emphasized the bill's significance and the necessity for comprehensive review. The Communications Bill 2025 aims to establish a robust framework for rapid, efficient, and comprehensive electronic communication, information, media, broadcasting, and electronic commerce services in the Gambia. Maria Madem has more.
Monday, March 2nd, marked the start of the first ordinary session of the 2026 legislative year, initiating a month-long period dedicated to advancing critical reforms in the country. The session began with several proposed laws being referred to the Assembly Business Committee for thorough review. Among these is the Communications Bill 2025, presented by Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Honorable Lamin Jabi, for a second reading before being sent to the committee.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled Communication Bill be read for the second time. The objectives and reasons for this particular bill are to establish a framework for rapid, efficient, and comprehensive electronic communications, information, media, broadcasting, and electronic commerce services in the Gambia, for promoting competition and investment, ensure consumer protection and privacy, and facilitate the optimal use of national communication resources like radio frequencies. The bill is designed to ensure affordability and access, upholding standards for equipment, information, broadcast, and media services.
The bill establishes a legal framework for electronic transactions, media, and broadcasting to enhance competitiveness. It ensures ICT security and privacy, promotes e-government, innovation, and combats cybercrime. The bill also legally recognizes electronic signatures and contracts, encourages ICT-driven economic growth, and improves business efficiency.
There are a lot of gaps in terms of the licensing regime, in terms of what kind of type of license do we need to give, among other things. And I think it's important that we update the current laws to match the current realities of the country. Honorable Speaker, it is also equally important for us to also clearly highlight, no matter how important this bill is, to also ensure that we have a very clear boundary in terms of regulation and in terms of operations as well. That is the ministry and other regulatory agencies.
And again, also looking at the e-governance system, I think it's prudent now. Government institutions, most use Gmail. Why? But with the common force of this bill, will address a lot of issues. The cyber crime issues, also cyber security. This bill will also address that. I think we are up to, and the minister is in line. We will work together to support this bill. But I believe also we do the necessary for us to be sent to the ABC and to the relevant committee for a holistic, a holistic stakeholder engagement to make sure this is up and running.
Cyber security, most people, I will say, wouldn't know the use of a mobile phone, for example. Using a mobile phone, framing people of whom they are not, is really alarming, and this is destroying a lot of marriages for women, and it is also destroying a lot of marriages for men, and it is also making life difficult for women especially. So addressing such things in a bill, to be more precise, Honorable Speaker, I think it is very, very timely, and I will also urge members to look into this properly, and then we see how best we can pass this bill. Thank you.
The motion was seconded by Honorable Alhaji Mbow, the National Assembly member for Upper Salom, who opened the floor for members to express their views on the bill's importance. The Communications Bill 2025 guarantees affordable nationwide access to communication services, removes licensing barriers to attract investment, protect consumers, supports secure communication for national safety, regulates scarce resources, sets equipment standards, and fosters digital economy development. The bill also supports the development of the digital economy by introducing new approaches for delivering information, media and broadcasting services in the digital age. It aims to foster an enhanced ecosystem that embraces technological innovations, ensuring secure and reliable communication infrastructure vital for national defense and public safety. After the second reading, the National Assembly unanimously agreed to refer the Communications Bill 2025 to the Assembly Business Committee for rigorous scrutiny to ensure its provisions meet the country's digital and economic development goals. Maria Madem, reporting for Star TV News.
The Gambia Revenue Authority GRA on Tuesday welcomed the Secretary of the African Tax Administration Forum on the courtesy call. The visit marked another milestone in their growing partnership and underscored ETAF's commitment to supporting member states in modernization, tax administration, and enhancing revenue mobilization across Africa. More in this report by Omar Job.
During the gathering, GRA Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo expressed appreciation for ETAF's continued support in capacity building, policy guidance, and technical experts. He explained that ETAF has been instrumental in helping African tax authorities adapt to global shifts in taxation, particularly in digitalization and combating tax evasion. CG Dabo added that ETAF provides training and technical assistance to GRA staff, equipping them with modern tools for tax administration through ETAF's research and advocacy. GRA benefits from harmonized tax policies that align with international standards. Membership in ETAF connects GRA with more than 40 African tax administrations, fostering peer learning and exchange of best practices. These efforts have broadened GRA's tax base, improve compliance, and strengthening the Gambia's fiscal stability.
The Gambia is proud to be a founding member of ETAF. Over the years, we have remained firmly committed to the objectives and programs of the organization. The services on the ETAF councils further reflect our dedications and belief in the visions of the ETAF to build a strong, moral, and efficient tax administration across Africa. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, ETAF has played a pivotal role in enhancing tax administration performance throughout the continent. The training programs you offered are practical, relevant, and tailored to the real challenges our revenue authorities face on a daily basis. Our staffs have benefited immensely from numerous ETAF training initiatives, including programs in data analytics, tax audit, VAT fraud, tax investigation, research method, etc., etc.
Both ETAF and GRA have prioritized digital transformation as a cornerstone of effective tax administration. At the ETAF's recent annual meetings in Kigali, digitalization was a central theme. The focus included using digital platforms to simplify tax filing and payment processes, employing advanced analytics to detect non-compliance and curb tax evasion, enhancing accountability through automated systems that reduce human error and corruption, and promoting cross-border cooperation in sharing tax data, multinational cooperation, and digital economic transactions. For GRA, this initiative translates into more effective revenue collection, reduced tax leakages, and improved experience. The authority has already begun rolling out digital platforms that allow online tax payment, a movement expected to significantly boost compliance rates.
But with the support we have from our partners and the reforms that we have undergone over the years, we have revolutionized the collections of revenue in this country. Today, as we speak, last year, 2025, we've collected over $25.3 billion for the country. This is all due to the capacity buildings that we have received from our development partners, as well as our other partners, including ETAF. We can have reforms in place, but if we don't have the capacity to make sure that they are implemented the way they should, then the reforms will be meaningless. And that is why we need the continuous capacity building of our staffs. And ETAF has been there all this while for us since its establishment.
Commissioner General Dabo concluded by emphasizing that digitalization is not just a tool for efficiency, but a pathway to fairness and equity in taxation. The visit by ATAF Secretary General signaled a shared vision of building resilient tax system that empowers African nations to finance their own development.
As I conclude, allow me to once again express my sincere gratitude to the Executive Secretary, Mary, and your team for making time, despite your very busy schedule, to visit us here in the Gambia. Your presence inspired us, strengthened our partnership, and reaffirmed our shared commitment to building a strong, resilient tax administration in Africa. We are very grateful once again, Madam Mary. Your coming to Gambia means a lot to us as a tax administration and as a country.
Domestic tax collection remains one of the most critical pillars for Africa's economic development and state building. While many African countries face challenges in mobilizing sufficient revenue, strengthening domestic taxation offers immense opportunity for sustainable growth and independence. ATAF Executive Secretary Mary Bain thanked the management of GRE for the warm welcome. She noted that ATAF values the Commissioner General's support and leadership. She highlighted his role on ATAF's council, where he has championed the vision of mobilizing domestic tax across the continent as a key solution to Africa's development challenges.
With you, Commissioner General, you have demonstrated very strong commitment to both the governance and leadership aspects at ATAF when you're a member of council from 2020 to 2022, and you continue to do so even now.
The courtesy call reaffirmed ATAF's role as a strategic partner in the Gambia's tax modernization journey. With the global economy increasingly shaped by digital transactions, the collaboration between ATAF and GRE positions the Gambia to harness technology for sustainable revenue growth. For Star TV, this is Omar Diop.
Star TV recently caught up with motorcyclists in Basse to gauge the community's view on road safety and the urgent need for high-quality helmets. Our reporter Maud Elbaji discussed the importance of using standardized and durable helmets with the riders.
The roars of motorcycle engines is a constant soundtrack to daily lives in Basse, but beneath the hustle lies a sobering reality. For years, motorcycle accidents have remained a leading cause of preventable death in the Gambia, leaving a trail of grieving families and overstretched medical facilities. Recent data and local observations highlights a recurring grip pattern. The vast majority of these fatalities and permanent disabilities are the direct result of motorbike accidents. Abdullah Jallo, a local commercial rider, shared his perspective about the importance of helmets, stating that safety should not be a luxury and they need more than just awareness.
It's for your own safety, and the other one, this one is for the customers. I'll give this one to the customers for their own safety. Now motorbike you can drive it, but nobody knows where accident can cause. Anything can happen there. So you can lose control, brake, many things can lose here. So no man is perfect. So wear this helmet also is good for your own protection.
Another local commercial rider named Whithole said they use their helmets because traffic police officers don't disturb them while riding, adding that helmets protect their heads during accidents.
Because nini mosi umbitaka puru police will kani muta fana and na fla nyaw yin fana puru ni beta kam fana puru ya sorong e kana ni accident sort of thing puru fende kile kuna.
The message from the streets of Basse is clear. Sensitization is only half the battle. There is a growing demand for stricter enforcement of helmet standards and potential subsidies to make these life-saving gears affordable for every Gambian rider. For this Basse-based commercial rider, named Whithole, highlighted that the cost of helmet can be varied based on its quality, costing from $700, $600 and $500 respectively.
and from first kulima will be mbulu ngasan 700 dolbe 600 dolbe 500 but 500 go man shad but 706 wala shada nteleni garaso.
In a region like Basse, where motorcycles are the backbone of transport, ensuring every rider has a quality seal is no longer just a suggestion, it is a matter of national survival. For Star TV, I am Mutu El Paji.
If you're just tuning in, this is Star TV News, and we are broadcasting live from our studio along the OIC Road in Kanifing, and now to news beyond our borders. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has questioned America's justification behind launching an attack on Iran. Lavrov has also said the escalating conflict in the Middle East risks sending nuclear proliferation out of control. Al Jazeera's Dmitriev has more from Moscow, Russia.
Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has questioned America's justification behind launching an attack on Iran. Listen.
We repeatedly hear statements about the goals of this war. We still see no evidence that Iran was developing nuclear weapons, which was the main, if not the only, justification for the war. There is proof provided by both the IAEA and the American intelligence professionals that Iran did not manufacture and did not try to produce nuclear weapons.
Now, Lavrov also said the escalating conflict in the Middle East risks sending nuclear proliferation out of control. All right, let's go to Dmitry Medvedenko, who's with us from Moscow. So, Dmitry, what else are the Russians saying? And also, given the fact that the Strait of Hormuz is now effectively closed, that Qatar, for instance, has suspended production of LNG, are the Russians expecting to essentially profit from this conflict with Iran?
Good question, Scott. Let's go through them one by one. First of all, Lavrov there, apart from the things that we've just heard him say, also had a "we need to talk" kind of speech about Russia and the United States needing to have a comprehensive conversation. Let me read a quote to you. "I have no doubt that the time has come for a principled and comprehensive conversation on how the United States sees the world, how it sees itself in that world, and what role it assigns to everyone else." Basically questioning the fact that, the United States hasn't presented a very much valid case as to the justification for its war. Now, the Kremlin has also said today that Moscow is trying to act as a mediator between Iran and the Gulf states. The Russian President Vladimir Putin had phone conversations with the leaders of the UAE, of Qatar, of Bahrain, and of Saudi Arabia. And in those conversations, basically, the sides agreed that hostilities need to stop, and also Putin pledged to pass on the information to Iran, and they're in regular contact with Iran about concerns about strikes on infrastructure, for example. And the Kremlin today was asked, is this basically a mediator role? And Dmitry Peskov, the spokesperson, said, well, yes, essentially it is. Putin is trying to do whatever he can to at least somewhat alleviate the situation. Now, when it comes to your second question, there's already been reports that India is potentially trying to increase imports of Russian oil. It has been warned by the United States before that if it continues to buy Russian oil, it's one of the three countries that essentially are buying Russian oil: China, India, and Turkey, and Turkey. India has basically said that it hopes that the current situation with the Strait of Hormuz will, somewhat gloss over the fact that, Trump's ire about India buying Russian oil. So in the end, Moscow could end up winning in the sense of there are so many countries right now that need more energy resources, and Russia is obviously capable of providing them.
More than 100 activists marched into the U.S. Embassy in Manila, warning the Philippines could be a target of the U.S. adversaries as the country hosts U.S. troops and missile systems. Al Jazeera's Banabello reports from Manila, Philippines.
Well, these protesters are marching towards the U.S. Embassy here in Manila, voicing their anger against the United States and Israel, blaming them for what is now a region-wide conflict in the Middle East. They say they don't believe that there was evidence Iran was building nuclear weapons and that Iran posed an imminent threat. They say that it is the United States and Israel that are the real threats. They say they have a history of genocide, of occupation, and of waging wars.
previous to the bombing on February 28, there has been so many negotiations on their part, but I think the U.S. did not listen to that.
And while they say they don't condone Iran hitting civilian targets in Gulf countries that are allies of the United States, they say that this is proof that the Philippines is vulnerable given the rotational presence of U.S. troops here, given the access U.S. troops have in Philippine military bases, given the many bilateral and multilateral military exercises. And they say this is proof. The police blocking their way to the U.S. Embassy of the Philippine government's complicity. I think it's important to note this group of activists has long warned that the Philippines could be a staging area for American military operations, especially if there is a conflict between China and the United States over Taiwan.
As an imperialist power, U.S. has so many rivals and enemies. And we have a regional hotspot here in this part of the world. And any escalation of the conflict could lead to the targeting of U.S. military facilities across the Philippines.
But defense officials here say there's absolutely no cause for concern because one, Iran is too far from the Philippines, two, there is no known Iranian proxy in Southeast Asia, and three, the access U.S. military troops have here in the Philippines are in bases that are fully managed and controlled by the Philippine military, and so their focus now, they say, is the safety of the nearly 2.5 million Filipinos living and working in the Middle East. Barney Below, Al Jazeera, Manila.
Well, this is all we have time for in this edition of News Bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. Do stay tuned and enjoy our programs. Until then, have a pleasant night.